we spend a long time creating contrasts. And I like how that sound can influence our perception of a scene, how it can underline, let's say, a loneliness and isolation. And the movie is very much about isolation and being sequestered away. And we wanted to create a sense of claustrophobia. Every little piece that is part of the film, be it a light, be it a production design, be it the sound design, is so important how we emotionally respond to it. And ideally, I want to put you into the shoes of the character that you're watching. And so if we suck the air out of the room, this is what the character feels like. And if you can sort of feel a little bit of what that person feels like, what that person feels at that moment, I'm very happy.
Edward, thank you so much for sharing your time with us on the movie.
Oh, thank you.
Today. We were truly blown away watching this movie. It's gorgeous. It's so powerful. And seeing, I think, just this world realize this is something that, for me growing up, raised in this faith, seeing this from afar, but really getting an intimate look at it was really fascinating for us. So it was
great.
Awesome.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's great.
For myself, I didn't grow up too much in it, but curious for yourself.
I didn't either.
Good to know. So how familiar were you with the process of the conclave then?
Well, I wasn't. So I was raised Protestant, so I'm not Catholic. But I remember going to see a friend's to go with a friend to church, and I was blown away by the theatricality of it. So I wasn't very familiar with the process of the conclave, but we did a lot of research. All I know was what like white smoke and people going behind closed doors and stuff like that, like what you get from the press. But what you're surprised to learn when you do the research is all the intricate detail, and research only goes to a certain extent in this, because obviously it's secretive. Cardinals who took part in it can't talk about it, and they won't talk about it. And so some of it is our imagination. But in the end, I'm also not, I'm not a realist, I would say. I like creating a reality that makes us think this is the reality, and hopefully it gets us gets our imagination going, and helps us pretend what reality could be. Interpret. Sorry.
We were convinced. So
okay, good. yeah.
Like he's familiar with this world.
Yeah.
For us watching this, one of the things, obviously, other than the just gorgeous performances and the visuals, was the sound design in this film, and obviously that's something that it's present in all your films, All Quiet on the Western Front, and now coming to this. There's this feeling of isolation in the movie that even when a character is like going into a room and the door closes, it almost feels like all the air is being sucked out of that room.
Well, good afternoon, sister. I would like to speak to the nun who dropped her tray just now.
She's safe with me. I'm dealing with the situation
I'm
here.
sure you are, Sister Agnes, but I must see her myself. Father Bellini. Aldo.
Am I the last one?
Not quite. How are you?
Oh, well, fairly dreadful.
For you, how often are you thinking of the sound design when you are on sets making a film like this?
That's a great observation. Thank you for noticing, because we spend a long time creating contrasts and creating the rooms. Every room sounds different. Here is, a little buzz, and when everyone goes away and the air conditioner is turned off. And I like how that sound can influence our perception of a scene, how it can underline, let's say, a loneliness and isolation. And the movie is very much about isolation and being sequestered away, and we wanted to create a sense of claustrophobia. So I think sound design is one of the most important elements in making, having the movie as impactful as possible. I always, it's very much in the forefront of my mind. I listen to every footstep, every little piece that is part of the film, be it a light, be it a production design, be it the sound design, is so important how we emotionally respond to it. And ideally, I want to put you into the shoes of the character that you're watching. And so if we suck the air out of the room, this is what the character feels like. And if you can sort of feel a little bit of what that person feels like, what that person feels at that moment, I'm very happy if that works.
Yeah, it does. And I think you get that from the more the isolation in the rooms, and then you have like these large, the Sistine Chapel, and you hear the echoes in there. So it's fascinating hearing those contrasts throughout the film.
Great. Yeah. And then you can only also have that impact if you create contrast. If you have chatter somewhere and suddenly it's gone, then you notice it.
Definitely.
Yeah, very like horror-like feel to it. Like every moment you're just kind of nervous as to what's going to happen next.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Great feeling. You've also got this amazing cast that you've assembled here. You were talking about, Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, Isabella Rossellini. There's John Lithgow. There's so many people in this film. What does collaboration look like when you're already adapting something and you're kind of working with these people? How do you come up with everything that you're doing?
Well, I believe in collaboration. We're a team. Movie making comes from theater. We're the descendants of theater, and that is a collaborative effort. It's a whole ensemble that puts on a show. It's a director, it's a lighting person, and I'm just part of the team. And I just want to, I want to listen I come with an opinion. Is it the right opinion? Who knows? I will happily be convinced by others if they have a better idea. We just discuss things, and we're like what it looked like with Ralph and me pretty much was we spent a couple of weeks going to restaurants in the evening and just leafing through the script and talking about it. And that was the main work. By the time we got on set, we kind of knew what we wanted from each other. And I really mean each other, like he from me and me from him. It's a give and take. It's not the star that you put in the film will influence the film tonally the most of any decision you make.
Right.
Definitely.
Edward, thank you so much for taking your time with us today. We're so excited to have everyone watch this movie and just be more immersed in it as well.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
No, of course.
That's great. I'm so happy that you liked it. Thank you.
Loved it.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great.